Lagos, 2025. Victoria Island. A cracked tortoise shell sits in a glass display case inside a shiny co-working space called Shell Hub. The plaque reads, Battle-tested innovation from crash to cash. Tortoise is back. After the big fall from the sky feast, the one that cracked his shell forever and turned him into the original broke Yahoo boy, he didn't stay down. He crawled into the shadows, licked his wounds, and stared at his shattered back in every puddle he passed. Never again, he whispered. No more greed. No more shortcuts. This time, I go do and proper. Then he saw the tech boys, young guys in hoodies, sipping cappuccino, pitching apps that solve African problems. They raise millions without leaving their laptops. They talk about scale, pivot, unicorn. They wear their failures like badges. I crashed 3 startups before this one blew. Tortoise smiled his old smile. This nigh my format now. He rebranded. No more village tricks. No more borrowed feathers. Just code, pitch decks, and LinkedIn posts. He named his startup ShellShield, Africa's first AI-powered personal security app. Tagline, protect your shell before it cracks. Investors loved the story. The founder survived a literal fall from grace. One VC said, that's authenticity. They gave him seed money, $500,000. Then another round, then another. Tortoise moved from under the bridge to a Yaba penthouse, hired fresh graduates, bought MacBooks, posted daily. From cracked shell to Series A, never give up. Hashtag TechBroTortoise. Naija Twitter ate it up. Memes everywhere. Bro went from Yahoo to Y Combinator. But inside the shell, the whole greed still whispered. This time, make arm bigger, faster. Nobody go no. And just like before, the higher he climbed, the thinner the air, the more he forgot the lesson of the sky feast. Because some lessons crack the shell, but the greed inside, it upgrades. Stay tuned, because the tortoise who was once broke in 2025 is now a tech bro, and his next crash, it's coming in 4K. Turn the volume up. This one go teach you why some comebacks are just reruns with better lighting. The fall lasted longer than the feast had lasted. Tortoise tumbled through clouds, wind screaming in his ears, borrowed feathers peeling off like cheap Ankara in rain. He hit the ground hard, not the soft village earth, but Lagos concrete, right behind the Yaba Tech hub dumpster. Crack! The sound echoed louder than the skyfish drum. His shell split wide open, jagged lines running like bad code. Pieces scattered, pain shot through him like electric current. For weeks he hid under bridges, in abandoned kiosks, in the shadow of billboards advertising crypto and fintech. He watched the world move fast above him. Okada zipping, young guys in hoodies carrying MacBooks, talking about Series A and exit strategy. His whole shell was useless now. Every step hurt. Every laugh from passers-by felt like mockery. One night, under a flickering streetlight, he looked at his reflection in a puddle. Fool, he muttered. Greed carry you up. Greed throw you down. This time no more shortcuts. No more borrowed wings. This time I go build something real. He started small. Collected broken phone parts from trash. Watched YouTube tutorials on a cracked screen he found. Learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, even Solidity for smart contracts. He named his new self, Tortoise Tech. No more Yahoo, no more 419. Just code. He built a simple app first, Shell Chat, a secure messenger for village groups. No ads, no data cell, just end-to-end encryption. It worked. People downloaded, shared, reviewed. Finally, something that works without spy, one comment said. Tortoise smiled, careful not to crack the new scar tissue on his shell, but inside, the old voice whispered, this too slow, need bigger, need funding, need scale. He ignored it, for now, he pitched to local incubators, showed his cracked shell as proof of resilience. This shell survived a fall from the sky, he told them. It can survive anything, just like my code. They laughed at first. Then they listened. One VC firm gave him $50,000 pre-seed. Tortoise moved into a shared desk in Yaba, bought a second-hand laptop, hired two fresh graduates who believed his story. He posted on LinkedIn, from cracked shell to MVP, never stop building, hashtag TechBroTortoise. Naija Twitter loved it. But every night when the office emptied, Tortoise stared at his reflection in the dark screen. The cracks still hot, the grid still whispered, and Lagos never sleeps. Neither does ambition, especially when it's wearing a cracked shell. Success tasted sweet, sweeter than any sky feast. Yam. ShellShield hit 500,000 downloads in 3 months. App Store featured. Google Play trending. Women posted testimonials. Saved me from a stalker on Third Mainland. Panic button worked when my ex showed up. Ratings 4.8. Tortoise became Lagos tech royalty. Invited to panels. Quoted in Tech Cabal. Pitched at Sloge Africa. Investors threw more money. $3 million. Series A. He upgraded everything. Moved to a bigger office in Ikoyi. Glass walls. Foosball table. Free kombucha. Hired a marketing team. Ran ads on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Influencers posted. ShellShield saved my life. Use code Tortoise10 for 10% off. Downloads jumped to 2 million. But the whole voice inside the shell got louder. This growth too slow. Investors want 10 times. Need unicorn numbers. Need to show traction now. Tortoise started cutting corners. First, fake user numbers. He paid click farms in India to inflate downloads. Only temporary, he told himself. Just to impress the next round. Then ghost employees. Added fake devs on payroll. Pocketed their salaries. Then exaggerated demos. In pitch meetings, he showed live features that weren't built yet. Coming in next sprint, he promised. The team noticed. Kioma asked one night, "Boss, these metrics, they don't match our analytics." Tortoise smiled. "Marketing magic. Don't worry. We closed this round. We bill everything real." Tunde found ghost payroll entries. He confronted Tortoise privately. "Sir, this no right. We can lose everything." Tortoise looked at him, eyes cold. "You want to be broke again? Or you want to be rich? Choose." Tunde stayed quiet. The Series A closed at $10 million, valuation $50 million. Tortoise bought a yacht on Lagos Lagoon, named it Shell Rise. He posted yacht pics with caption, "From cracked shell to yacht deck, never stop dreaming. #TechBroTortoise." Naija Twitter celebrated. But inside the shell, cracks widened. The old greed no longer whispered. It shouted, "More, faster, bigger." And Tortoise listened. Because in Lagos Tech, when the money flows, the moral compass spins. And the tortoise who once fell from the sky was flying again. But this time, no feathers. Just code and lies. And a shell that was cracking wider every day. Launch day arrived like Lagos traffic. Loud, chaotic, unavoidable. ShellShield went live at 9 a.m. sharp. App Store, Google Play, big press release. Influencers posting, "Download now, protect your shell." Tortoise stood in the Ikoyi office, cracked shell hidden under a custom hoodie, watching the dashboard. Downloads spiked. 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 in the first hour. Investors called. Great traction. Unicorn potential. Tortoise smiled wide. The old greed paired inside the shell. Then the alert started. First, users complaining. App crashing on Android 11. Panic button, not sending location. Battery draining like crazy. Tortoise waved it off. Minor bugs. Hotfix coming. Then the data breach report. A hacker posted screenshots on Twitter. ShellShield leaking user locations and panic logs. "You're not safe, oh." Hashtag ShellShield. Fail trended. Users deleted the app. Ratings dropped from 4.8 to 2.1 in hours. Investors called again, this time angry. "Where is the security you promised? This is fraud." Tortoise panicked. He went live on LinkedIn. "Technical difficulties. We are fixing. Trust the process." But the process was fake. The AI security was mostly smoke. The backend was rushed. Data wasn't encrypted properly. The panic button sent locations in plain text. Tunde, the backend dev who had warned him, stood up. "Boss, I told you. We should have tested properly, Tortoise snapped. Shut up and fix it. Kamma packed her bag. I'm out. This is not what I signed for. She left. The office emptied fast. Downloads reversed. Users sued. Twitter dragged him mercilessly. Tech bro Tortoise memes everywhere. Pictures of cracked shells with captions, from crash to crash again. Investors pulled out. Funding frozen. Valuation crashed from $50 million to zero. Tortoise sat alone in the empty office, cracked shell aching worse than ever. He looked at his reflection in the dark monitor, the same reflection from under the bridge. Again, he whispered. The old grid had upgraded, but the fall, still the same. No feathers this time, just code, hype, and a shell that was cracking wider than ever. Because in Lagos Tech, when you fake it, the crash is digital, but the pain, still very, very real. The crash came fast and loud, louder than the sky fist fall, because this time it was public. Twitter first. A user posted screenshots of leaked internal docs, fake user stats, ghost payroll, unbuilt features promised in demos. Caption, ShellShield na scam o. Tortoise they chop investor money. Hashtag tech bro Tortoise exposed. The thread went viral in minutes. Tech Twitter dragged him. From cracked shell to cracked ethics. Bro fell from the sky. Now he falling from grace. ShellShield equals shell game. Screenshots everywhere. Old interviews clipped. I build real security. Cut to leaked code showing plain text user data. Investors panicked. Echo VC issued statement. Deeply concerned. Investigating. Other VCs distanced themselves. Never invested. Some lied. App removed from stores. Downloads reversed. Lawsuits filed. Tortoise's LinkedIn flooded with comments. Resilience, more like fraudulence. Unfollow. His Range Rover got keyed in Ikoyi. Yacht repossessed. The office emptied. Last employee left a note. We believed in the story, not the lies. Tortoise sat alone in the dark office, cracked shell aching worse than ever. He scrolled Twitter on his cracked phone. Memes flooded. Tortoise in hoodie falling from sky again. Caption, Tech Edition. He laughed, bitter, hollow. The old greed had won again. He whispered to the empty room. I thought this time different. I thought code no fit crack like shell. But code cracks too. When built on lies. When sold on hype. When the founder forgets the first fall. He looked at his reflection in the dark monitor. Still cracked. Still hungry. But this time no feathers to borrow. No sky feast to blame. Just him and Lagos. And the internet that never forgets. Tortoise closed the laptop. Walked out into the night. Shell cracked wider. But the city light still shone. And somewhere in the glow a small voice whispered, maybe now you learn for real. Because in Lagos Tech and in life, every crash teaches something. If you survive it, and Tortoise, he always survives. But surviving ain't the same as thriving. Not yet. The office lights went out for good. Tortoise sat in the dark for hours, cracked shell aching like it did the day he fell from the sky. No investors calling, no notifications, just silence and the hum of Lagos outside. He crawled home to the penthouse he could no longer afford. Eviction notice on the door next morning. He sold the Range Rover, sold the designer hoodies, kept one laptop, the cracked one from under the bridge. He sat on the floor of a cheap room in Suruleha, staring at the wall. The whole grid voice tried again. Start another app, fake it again. They forget fast. But this time, Tortoise answered back. No. He opened the laptop, deleted the fake dashboards, deleted the ghost payroll, deleted the hype. He looked at the original ShellShield code, the part that actually worked, the panic button that sent real alerts, the location sharing that protected women, the simple, honest tool. He stripped everything else, renamed it ShellSafe. No fancy AI claims, just basic, reliable personal safety. He rebuilt it clean. No click farms, no ghost employees, no lies. He launched quietly, no press release, no influencers, just a tweet from his old account. ShellShield failed because I failed. I cut corners. I lied. Here is the truth. A simple safety app rebuilt honestly. No hype, just protection. Try it if you want. I'm sorry. Download started slow. 100, 500, 1,000. Then women shared it. This one actually works. No data sell. Panic button saved me last night. Ratings climbed back. 4.6. No VC money. No big office. Just Tortoise, a small team of 2 lawyer grads who stayed, Chioma and Tunde, and a tiny rented space in Surulere. He posted again, from cracked shell to cracked ego. Real growth is slow, but it's real. Hashtag honest tech. Naija Twitter forgave. Slowly. Some still dragged him, but many said, at least he owned it. ShellSafe grew organically. 5,000 users, 10,000, 20,000. No unicorn dreams, no yacht, just impact. Tortoise still limped when he walked. The shell never healed fully, but every time a user sent a thank you message, app alerted my sister in time. The cracks hurt a little less. He learned, kinda. The greed still whispered sometimes, but now Tortoise whispered back, I already fell twice. Third time, no be joke. And in Lagos tech, where hype dies fast, honest slow growth lasts longer. Tortoise was no longer broke. He was building, quietly, honestly, cracked, but coding. And that was the biggest comeback of all. 1 year later, Tortoise still limps when he walks. The shell never fully healed, but ShellSafe is growing, slowly, steadily, honestly. Downloads crossed 500,000. No VC money, no hype. Just word of mouth from women who feel safer at night. The small Surulere office has 3 desks now. Chioma and Tunde stayed. A new intern joined, a girl from the village, who reminds Tortoise of his old self before the greed. He no longer wears designer hoodies, just plain t-shirts with the ShellSafe logo. No Range Rover. He takes Danfo like everybody else. LinkedIn posts are different now. Week 47, 500,000 users. No ads, no data sell, just real protection. Grateful. Hashtag honest tech. Comments are kinder. Respect for owning the crash. Real growth takes time. From cracked shell to cracked ego. Love this. He still gets dragged sometimes. Old memes resurface. But he replies now, yes, I messed up. I'm still fixing it. One evening, he sits alone in the office after everyone leaves. Opens the old cracked phone from under the bridge. Looks at the first version of ShellShield code. The honest part. Smiles small. The greed voice is quieter now. Still there but faint. He whispers to it. I fell twice. Third time no be joke. He closes the laptop, walks to the window. Lagos lights still shine, but this time he doesn't want to own them all. He just wants to protect the people walking under them. Shell cracked, ego cracked, but the code finally clean. And in Lagos tech, where crashes are common, the Tortoise who learned kinda is still building, slowly, honestly, with a shell that tells the truth every time it aches. Because some comebacks aren't about flying higher, they're about walking straighter. And Tortoise is walking, one careful cracked step at a time. And that is why the Tortoise is now a tech bro in 2025. He fell from the sky once. Greed carried him up. Pride brought him down. He crashed again in Lagos tech Hype lifted him high, lies dropped him hard. But this time, something cracked open wider than his shell. His ego. The old greed still whispers. It always will. But Tortoise learned, kinda, that real building is slow. Honest code lasts longer than fake traction. Real users stay longer than paid downloads. And a cracked shell with truth inside beats a shiny one full of lies. In Lagos, where everyone wants to be the next unicorn, Tortoise chose something rarer, to be real. He's not a billionaire, not yet, maybe never. But ShellSafe protects women every night. Real alerts, real safety, real impact. It still limps, the shell still aches when it rains. But every thank you message from a user makes the pain feel like purpose. So if you're hustling in 2025, tapping palm wine, coding in Yaba, chasing a lot, chasing dreams, remember Tortoise. Greed upgrades fast, but honesty, it scales forever. This has been Moonlight to Mike Tales by Enkay. A follow-up to remind us some comebacks aren't about flying higher, they're about walking straighter. If this story made you think twice about shortcuts, drop a turtle in the comments, share with that friend chasing quick wins, and subscribe. Plus turn on bell for more Naija tales that hit different. Next week we return with another one. Until then, keep your code clean, keep your shell honest, and keep building, slowly, surely, cracked but coding. The moon is watching, the mic is still hot, and somewhere in Lagos, a tortoise is still learning. See you in the next story. Stay real, Nigeria. Stay building.